Let's talk about Mathew Knowles and Tina Knowles. Okay. Basically, well, Mathew, her ex husband, Tina Knowles is the mother of Beyonce, and her father is Mathew. And he was doing an interview and he walked off the interview when they asked about Tina being a part of building Destiny's Child. Beyonce is a member, one of the founding members of Destiny's Child, a music R&B group. Then Beyonce went solo and became one of the biggest women in music today. Okay, so I mean, look, Destiny's Child was it. Destiny's Child was a big deal. When I mean, they were very successful during the mid to late 1990s. I would say more almost near the end of 1990s, and I loved it. Can you pay my bills? Can't pay my telephone bill? Then maybe we can chill. I don't think you do, so you and me are through. They had a lot of hits. Okay, it's not that many successful legendary girl groups in America. In my opinion, there's a few in R&B. You have TLC, you have the Supremes, you have In Vogue, SWV, Total, but Destiny's Child is one of the biggest, right behind the Supremes, in my opinion, and TLC, as one of the biggest girl groups in history here in America. Okay, Beyonce was one of the members, okay? And we know Michelle, what happened when they broke up and everything, but Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Latavia, Latoya, and they were pumping out. They were big. They were big, and their rise to fame, it did not happen, baby, overnight. It didn't happen overnight. They were made for this. They were doing this since they were little children until they were teenagers and adult women. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, okay? A lot of training. And her parents, Beyonce's parents, they are the reason you know who they are. I mean, they sacrificed a lot, okay, for them to become as big as they became and for Beyonce to become as big as she became. So let's see this interview real quick.
You've earned your flowers. I've said the same thing to Tina Knowles. You guys put in the work, and obviously the talent was there with your kids.
I hope that you can hear it. The interview is a little muffled, but he's asking him, he's bringing up Tina and everything that went into making the group Destiny's Child.
Your grandkids.
What work did she put in?
In the hair.
Okay.
Clothing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the styling.
The styling.
The imaging. You're right.
She claimed to have preyed on the name, and different aspects of that.
Sure. Sure.
So, yeah. It's a joint effort.
We'll stop now.
Sorry, did I say something wrong?
No. We're good.
All right.
We're good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you see how upset Mathew got? The man who was conducting the interview said that, it was a joint effort and that Tina did the styling. She was a part of naming the group Destiny's Child. And Mathew said, what work did Tina put in? He had the audacity to say, what work did Tina put in? Hold on for a second. Let's look a little bit of something else real quick. Hold on.
Tina Knowles doesn't really get credit for how she shaped culture. Being the matriarch is a big piece of the puzzle, but it's not the full picture. The truth is, her story is no different from other black artists who were blocked from participating in the mainstream, mobbed for their work, and yet ultimately copied. Miss Tina left the hair salon to devote time to building Destiny's Child. She answered the question, how do you create a girl group that looks cohesive, honoring the past while still maintaining individual personality for each of its members. With major names refusing to dress Destiny's Child, she used bold fabrics and designs to create some of the most iconic looks of an era. They called her work tacky until it became couture, with similar looks showing up on runways. Nevertheless, this became the ultimate girl group blueprint, with the biggest girl groups now using the Tina Knowles method of cohesive individuality. And if that wasn't enough, in a return to form, Tina Knowles was able to take the decades of knowledge of hair health and styling and turn that into a successful prestige hair care brand, Sacred. From redefining hair to defining the look of an era, we celebrate the beauty icon, the matriarch, badass Teenie B, a true uncrowned queen.
Baby, you know I have something to say because the audacity of him. Now, the truth is that Destiny's Child and Beyonce and Kelly becoming successful is because of both of them. Both of them. Now, I will give Mathew his flowers because he says that he's not respected like Joe Jackson with Michael Jackson and everything. Even though Joe Jackson has, the whole putting hands on Michael and them. But what he did to pour into them. Beyonce grew up in Texas. She lived in a beautiful home. Beyonce's not from the hood. Beyonce lived in a big house, and her father, Mathew, worked in, I believe, pharmaceutical sales or something like that, and sales, and he was very successful. He was making really good money, okay, and he gave up everything for. Look, the truth is that the plan, in my opinion, was for Beyonce to eventually go solo. But they had a girl group and he gave up everything. He poured all his financial resources into building up Destiny's Child, clothing, management, getting a lawyer, everything you have to do to get in the music business. So it is true that his money was poured in to building up Destiny's Child. He gave up his career, not knowing if they would be successful or not, but believing in them. The thing is, though, is that Tina was a successful hairstylist. She had a salon. She was making good money. She also gave up her career. Actually, I take that back. When Mathew gave up his career and was pouring all his money into them, Tina was the one who had to cover a lot of bills. She had the salon and it was a lot on her. And eventually Tina was the one making all their outfits. So to say that Tina doesn't play a role into building them, yes, you might have been at home doing the training and handling the documents and the finances, being their manager, but Tina had to carry the weight with making sure bills were paid and also doing their hair and the beauty part, because as a girl group, you have to be appealing, you have to look good, you have to have cute outfits and maintain your shape and have your hair done. And Tina was doing that. Making clothing is not easy. I believe Tina's mother was a seamstress and Tina also had skills with that. We know that later on, her and Beyonce had House of Darion, the clothing line, and I would say that both Tina and Matt are the reason that they became successful, and they both dedicated their life into Destiny's Child and Beyonce, in my opinion. As a matter of fact, look at this. I love this outfit. Baby, Tina was doing the damn thing. For Tina not to be a huge fashion designer, she did a damn good job, in my opinion. This is one of the most legendary Destiny's Child outfits to me. I would wear this. It's so beautiful. Look at the studs everywhere. And guess what? This article says Destiny's Child versus racism. They weren't styled. They were excluded. Because, look, it's racial, but it's also they weren't big household names. And a lot of big designers didn't want to style them. And the same thing happened to Zendaya and other women in entertainment, but you do have people who also look at them like, you're a black artist. Who are you? You're not really all that. Nobody knows about you. But Destiny's Child was doing the damn thing. They were big in R&B, but they weren't mainstream big, I guess, and designers were shunning them. So Tina did the damn thing and was making their outfits and styling them. And for me, come on, look at them. Absolutely stunning, in my opinion. So, okay, it says that in Destiny's Child's early career, designers and fashion houses refused to dress them, not because of talent or success, but because they were black women who didn't fit a marketable mold. That's a bunch of bull crap, but it's a real thing. Tina Knowles said they said the girls were a little too flashy, a little too Motown. Motown is the biggest record label in American history, but they really meant that they were too black. Oh my God. Another outfit I love. Executives push for a safer look, jeans and t-shirts, anything that made them more palatable. They were told they should look like Britney Spears. I love Britney Spears. And Christina Aguilera. I love her too. But they're not them. They're a girl group. They're a girl group, R&B girl group. Just please, let's miss us. It's good to be different. I love these outfits right here. Look at these dresses, the tie-dye, the beach look. I love it. It's so beautiful. When fashion shut the door, Tina Knowles opened it with a sewing kit. She designed their looks herself out of necessity, not aesthetics. Well, girl, okay. It says that in the 1990s and early 2000s, due to the lack of funds and as well as brands not wanting to work with them, Tina had to take it upon herself to design their clothing for the stage and the red carpet. Tina revealed in the past that it was often a struggle to dress the girls during the 1990s and 2000s. Many designers or labels wouldn't dress them, so she had to take matters into her own hands. She chose to celebrate Black beauty during a time when it was not encouraged to do so. The label, after the girls started getting a lot of recognition, they had a meeting with my husband and they told him that basically I was the problem and I was going to be the reason why the girls would be limited to their crossover appeal because they were just a little too flashy, too Motown, but what they really meant, they were too black. Tina Knowles told the Washington Post in 2020, adding that she even faced pressure to dress them like popular white girl pop stars like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Hold on for a second. Look, baby, first of all, they were R&B and pop, a mixture of that, and every artist should be different and should stand out. Britney Spears is not Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera is not Britney. And Destiny's Child is not either one of them. So miss me with it. And to be compared to Motown, in my opinion, is the ultimate compliment because Motown, again, is the biggest label in American history founded by a black man. And Destiny's Child was the damn thing. A lot of people love Destiny's Child, and they were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was really upset when they broke up the original members. For me, in my heart, this is the original Destiny's Child. And I don't mean no disrespect to Michelle, okay? But when I think of Destiny's Child, as you can see on the screen, this is the Destiny's Child that I'm thinking of. Because when they were out, they were doing the damn thing everywhere. So shame on Mathew. Shame on Mathew for saying that, what did Tina, he said with a nasty attitude, what did she put in? What the hell do you mean? Okay, these women were being discriminated against from fashion designers, and your wife stepped up and was designing beautiful outfits for them to look their best and appeal to the public. Okay, it wasn't easy for Tina to, draw out these outfits and style them, but she did it. And she is a part of who they are, being legendary. And Tina deserves her flowers too, because she also was carrying the weight of having to pay the bills with the salon and making sure they look beautiful. Okay, so I would say again that it was both of them. as to why the group became what they are. And I'm not going to say that Mathew didn't. Of course he did. He poured all his money and resources and became their manager and dedicated his whole life, well, half his life, to them. So, but Tina did too. So give them both their flowers. Shame on you, Mathew. I think he caught an attitude because, they're divorced, and he had the other baby with that woman, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes. I heard Beyonce barely talks to him after what he did to her mother. That's what I heard a long time ago, and she doesn't even talk to her half sister. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I heard. Okay, so let's go to the next topic.